following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Heckma Harrison, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Well, good afternoon, Cowboys Nation, and welcome into the Taj Mahal of football. We're here in Frisco at the SWBC Mortgage Studios, home of your Dallas Cowboys, and this is Mick Shots, and I'm Heckma Harrison. He's Everson Walls, and that is Mickey Spagnola. And guys, as the days count down towards this game with Green Bay, it gets a little more hopeless and a little bit more hopeless as – come on, guys. Y'all remember – come on now. Y'all remember –
You're checking your headphones.
Yeah, you heard it.
Next man up. Come
No.
on.
Y'all remember that Three Stooges where they slowly I turn.
Step by step, inch by inch.
It's imminent. You guys are feeling the pressure, and everywhere you go. I don't know what the line is, but as this game gets close to the Sunday night, the national media is piling on this team, and basically, man, everybody's got the clicker out. Everybody's got the clicker out showing Eberflus's defense, and you guys have seen the same thing. We've talked about it. There's got to be a way to fix this. And going into Sunday, your faith is what I'm asking on. Oh, come on, Everson. Let me get the question out.
Oh, man.
Your faith that we can fix this. Mickey, I heard you this morning on 105.3, The Fan, so you got to tell me, where are you in between that interview and the coach's interview on this actually getting fixed?
Well, here's what I like to hear today from Eberflus.
Okay.
He said what we talked about yesterday.
Okay.
One of the terms he used, he said, better eye discipline. Did we not talk yesterday about, these guys see?
Right.
Just look at what's happening? Well, one of the things he said today is we've got to have discipline with our eyes and that they put in extra sessions, extra time, trying to go over thing. And as he pointed out, today is another day.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe they can see better.
Tomorrow. The sun will shine. That's what that sounds like.
I love you tomorrow.
Here's what they can't say.
Tomorrow.
What's that?
The day
We can say it.
What can we say?
You got to have players, right?
Uh-oh. The can just got open. Thank you, Mickey.
Think about this. Yesterday, all right? Deron Bland is limited. That's hopeful.
Yes.
But that means he didn't take every snap in practice, right? Now, great, he was out there, had the helmet on when we were out there, shoulder pads, and so he did limited work. Trayvon Diggs didn't practice.
Nope.
Can't get those two guys in the field at the same time for some reason.
Have they ever been in the same room at the same time?
I
Have we ever seen them in a picture photo together? It is the question.
Team photo. Ever seen them on a team photo?
It's just incredible, right? So put it this way: there's no Diggs out there. There's no for every play when they practice. Obviously, no Bland, right? Triquiz, Bridges.
You said it.
How about that?
Wow.
You know why?
Wow.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, wow. I was just looking at it. He's limited,
He
right?
was limited.
Yeah.
So that means by process of elimination, like who's available at cornerback after losing Zaire Childress, you got Kaiir Elam on one side and Robert Rochelle on the other side.
Who?
Yeah, right? Practice squad. Cornerback, who actually got elevated last week. And when they went sometimes to 5 DBs, he was on the field.
Okay.
But those were your corners. Those would have been your corners if all those other guys aren't on the field. Now, how do you feel about that?
No, I
See what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
you can sit there and go, well, they just don't have discipline or they don't communicate. But who's communicating? I don't want the B squad out there, but that's what you've got right now.
So
in the secondary,
the can of worms that you just opened was the conversation that I was having with Everson before we came on air, and I basically was questioning whether it was a talent thing versus a player thing. Because at some point,
said that's not how he said it. See the way he's talking about it. That's not how he
would
said
you
it.
interpret?
Yeah,
this?
yeah. He said, "Well, if they just sorry as hell." That's what he said. What if they just sorry as hell? That's what he just said before we went on air. Now he's trying to be all
Everson, I'm trying,
Bill Jones.
I'm trying to build it up.
Man.
I'm trying to build it up.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so
But look, but consider this. Please consider this.
He depressed me when he said that. Go ahead.
If there's no Diggs and Bland out there, now you're out without 5 of your top 6 corners. And when you traded for a Kyer, I don't know that they meant for him to be the salty veteran starter among the bunch, right?
No.
He was supposed to be some depth, right? Take a chance on. Now he's the last guy standing of the top 6.
I understand you have a drop in productivity, but to this degree is the problem. Yeah. I remember Jimmy put me on the bench in '89 after the Arizona game, and Robert Williams took my place.
Took your spot.
Took my spot. He's out there doing the best he could. Robert Williams didn't make all the plays that he probably wanted to make, to fill in well, but he still knew where he had to be.
Well,
that's I
get
get it that a B player can't make plays. He can't get out there and play one-on-one. He can't come out up there and make the big hit, punch the ball out, but just be where you're supposed to be. That's the difference. I mean, they're not even where they're supposed to be in order to make a play. It's as if they weren't even being coached before they got out there. The understanding of a starter versus a third down player, or maybe just a guy that is replace someone like myself. You still got to know, they knew where they were going. They knew where they had to be. It was just tougher for them to make plays. That's why they were second team. It wasn't because they were dumb. It's because they just couldn't make the plays. I just want us playing zone to be able to just minimize the productivity of the offense. That way we can get our offense on the field and we won't have so much catch-up to make up for. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're physically okay. Physically, you might not be that good, but dang, you still can think.
Do what you're
You
supposed
still
to
can
do.
think.
Right.
So we just saw was that Zaire? We just saw Aqib Talib was critiquing the Cowboys offense, and he was defense, and he was talking about how the plays that Chicago made, they weren't great plays. That was just us screwing up mentally. And that, to me, is the way our secondary is playing in a nutshell.
Well, and that's why they're having extra sessions this week.
I guess
his point was he said that he thought yesterday's practice was one of the better ones they've had all year, but you got to be consistent. And so what you're saying is, okay, if you're batting 5 out of 10 on your assignments, that ain't good enough.
That ain't good.
500's good in baseball.
No.
Not here, right? And so those are the things that I think they've got to button down with.
I didn't know. I was a very naive player because I was just so into what I was doing. I had gone through the whole Cowboys career here, and then when I went to the Giants, that Super Bowl year, they would have our scores on the door. I never looked at the scores.
Your personal performance scores?
Performance scores.
Was that before that other place gives out scores?
I don't know what
PFF is who you're talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
that's the other place.
Yeah, I don't know what they saw, but this is in-house.
Like the coaches do.
Yeah, this is in-house. And so
not some guy on a computer.
No. These are guys on our coaching staff. That was their job, was to grade us every week. And I did not know this until like week 10. We were winning.
As a rookie?
No, I was with the Giants.
Oh, with the Giants?
Yeah.
Not here.
I never, I don't know if we did that here because I never cared about what someone else said about it because I knew I was where I was supposed to be. So, but I didn't know grades came into play. If that's the case, I would have brought my grades with me to those freaking negotiations I had with Tex Schramm. But I didn't know anything about grades. So I go to New York, And Myron Guyton, my safety, he sits down and said, man, Everson, you get an A every week. And I said, what are you talking about? So they graded us out. I didn't know that they graded us out. I'm saying all that to say this. What are our grades for our secondary?
Yeah.
Not once again, it wasn't about if you make a play or not on your grade. Your grade is if you're where you're supposed to be, period. And I'm pretty sure all of our starters, this is New York, we got LT, we got Carl Banks, you got guys that thought the game. Pretty sure everyone got around A or B. I'm pretty sure I wasn't unique in that. But what are our grades here? I would like to see what they grade us on just responsibility-wise, not playmaking-wise.
What was and when you were in New York, what was you guys' base defense?
Cover two.
Cover two.
Cover two.
So if all else fails, and I'm sure y'all had a signal for what cover two was, if something else had been called and it had been reversed back to cover two, you could go back to what that base was.
Easily.
You knew your base defense like the back of your hand because that's, if all else fails, take glass off a button, base.
Yes.
Their base defense here is zone. And so.
And that's
cover
good.
two.
That's good. But you have to make the adjustments within your defense, depending on the team.
Right.
I mean, if you got a team that's going deep all the time, then, hey, maybe our corners maybe play a little softer.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring him inside as much as possible, but instead of going for the flare or the dump off, drop back a little bit more for the corner route, or for the inside and then that back out to the fade to where they press you up against the sideline.
Or if it's 3rd and 8, you're not going to bump at the line of scrimmage.
Thank you.
So you already know how they're graded now based off of where they are on the field. And so that's what I guess the confusing thing for everybody, and we were talking about players, is how doesn't Kaiir Elam understand on the play that we just watched that he's supposed to be in coverage and not around the line of scrimmage? How does his eyes get fooled on a play like that?
That was a flea flicker, right?
I believe so.
Well, he thinks he's got to come up and make the play. He thinks that's his job to come up on a either running play or a short route. But yeah, that was a flea flicker. He thought. For some reason, he thought that he was supposed to.
Again, not an outstanding play, a raggedy flea flicker at that, but you're fooled by it. And we're just talking about wide receivers being in areas wide open and guys not being in the areas that they're responsible for. So regardless if it's a scheme, if it's a guy just not understanding what he's doing, these breakdowns are happening to the tune of almost 1,000 yards over the last 2 games.
Remember I talked about the rhythm of a play. It's no way he should think that a running play, he should be charging up on any running play. That wasn't a cover 2 they were in on the play that you and I talked, where Aqib was talking about the play. You've got to have players deep on cover 3, and that's where he was. That was his assignment. He was deep third. There's no reason for him to be coming up on a deep third. It's just no reason for him to do that. And that flea flicker, when you saw his timing, he reacted extremely late to seeing that flea flicker. So
to figure it out.
They were talking about eyes. That's what the coach just said.
Yeah.
Talking about eyes. First of all, the rhythm is no way that it's going to take a running play that long. And for him to step up, not just one hesitation, he came up 2-3 steps.
Right.
So
come on, man.
Here's the other thing on that.
It's just
play.
not being aware. It's just no awareness.
I give Ben Johnson credit for when he called it. The Cowboys had just driven down the field, had to settle for a field goal. So you're thinking the defense is coming out going, okay, we're going to show them. We're going to be real aggressive here and get off the field, right? And he got them. Because they got overly aggressive, trying to stop that run. You can be overly aggressive on
the call, but
I know.
Still
but when you see that, you're going, okay, I'm going to take care of this, and you got to know, you got to take care of yourself.
But you got to know that that's what they know.
Well,
I mean that's
why
you got to know that's what they know.
That's why I thought the play was perfectly called at that spot. Because he anticipated that the Cowboys defenders were going to be aggressive. They were going to be aggressive
in that
point. It was the first play of the series.
Right.
It wasn't like they led up to it or set it up.
Well, when do we get to the point where we look at this defensive line and say, look, your secondary wouldn't struggle as mightily as they have been in these last couple games if you are able to put pressure on the quarterback.
Absolutely.
That would negate everything.
We're dragging guys.
But are they capable?
Well, that's the $1 million question, because I know you don't have a whole lot of love for guys right now in the defensive end room, but that's what they are.
But that's what they got.
That's exactly. If the cavalry is not coming in the defensive end room,
cavalry is.
Do you realize
in the secondary?
Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, they're talking about Clowney.
Okay.
I hope he comes through and just makes all the difference.
Listen to me. So what did we talk? We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
15, 20 snaps, maybe.
Everson said 30.
More.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he did an interview yesterday, and he was talking about he was ready to play last week, and he was hoping they'd put him in, and they told him, no, you need to wait a week. So went on and on about, how to be ready. So everybody left, and I went up to him and I asked him, I said, have you ever been in this situation before where you had to come in and play in a game with only a week and a half of practice, one padded practice? He goes, absolutely. And I go, when? He goes, 2019, I got traded from the Texans to Seattle. He didn't sign his franchise tag, and they finally had enough. And on August 31st, they traded him to Seattle. Okay? So he hadn't practiced, no training camp, no off season. He goes up to Seattle, and he tells me, he goes, you go look it up, just like that. I said, well, I will. He said, I played 46 snaps.
Wow.
I said, you did not. He goes, I played 46 snaps. Look it up.
That's an odd number.
Right?
That's
but
a
he
specific
but he
number.
remembered it. So I go get the play-by-play. I looked it up. He played 46 snaps. 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for a loss, and 1 pass defensed. And when we finished, he said, this ain't nothing new to me, just like that. And I'm going, okay, let's go.
Well, he has always been known to be special.
So let's see it, because they're saying he's trending. He's saying, I'm playing.
Right.
Now we'll see if they, what
If he can talk him into it, I'm all for
But
it.
guess who was in Seattle in 2019? Schottenheimer. As the offensive coordinator.
Interesting.
So maybe he knows a little bit more than he's letting.
And he may give him some leeway and give him some trust.
Or just put him out there.
Well, I hope he still has that 2019 body style that was able to play those 46 snaps after he got Micah'd by one team. Speaking of Micah, when we go to our first break here, we're going to talk about our guy Mickey's other team. We're going to concentrate on those guys a little bit.
Green Bay. His childhood.
Yeah.
His childhood.
Yeah, he won't admit it.
Do I have green on?
Yeah.
But I will tell you.
It's under his shirt.
What I will tell you is the Packers are having a pep rally at the Chicken and Pickle in Grapevine.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it on one of the
Mickey Spagnola be
Wow.
sneaking in. All right. We'll take our first break. We'll be right back with more Mick Shots.
Y'all might sneak over there and see.
You can go do that.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Look, school's starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, Cowboy fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience the best sports venue in the world, AT&T Stadium. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
Are you a Cowboys superfan? The search is on for the 2025 Fan of the Year presented by Captain Morgan. Now through September 29th, nominate extraordinary NFL fans, dynamic duos, and game changers who rep the Cowboys with pride and turn every game day into an unforgettable adventure. You could be sent to Super Bowl 60. Enter to win at NFL.com/Fan of the Year today.
Thank you for coming back for more Mick Shots. Mickey Spagnola, we got your favorite subject coming up here, and it is Micah Parsons and that defense returning to AT&T Stadium. And I started the show off talking about hopelessness, and everybody saying that we don't have a snowball's chance of getting a victory versus the Green Bay Packers. But Micah is on a defense that, quite honestly, is you can look at the next couple games, 14 games, they could be the number one defense in the NFL. Against Cleveland, which also had a very good defense.
Yes.
And that was a standoff, 13-10, a really good game as we talked about. But that defense really presents a ton of pressure. One of the things that I know defensive coordinators love is when they can get pressure with just 4. And this team, they don't have to bring blitzes, but they will bring blitzes. As you've continued to dive into that dope sheet you got over there, tell me more, Mickey, about this defense and just some of the things that you've noticed so far with their stats that they are going to bring to the table on Sunday.
Yeah, they do a nice job up front, but they will blitz their linebackers.
Yes.
Okay? So they got to be ready for that, and I'm sure they're going to try to do some fancy stuff up front since the Cowboys have to play 2 backups on the offensive line. Now, the one thing I did see quite a bit, and I think I mentioned it yesterday, is they will, say Mike is lined up at right defensive end. Okay? The guy that's next to him at defensive tackle, his first move is to go block the tackle that's on Micah so that he can release him to get free. Either go further outside or loop around inside. Because then if the guard's double teaming, the center's got to be pretty aware of something that's coming from way off his peripheral.
I don't know
to pick up Parsons.
I don't know if it's the uniqueness of his speed and momentum. If when the guy comes and shields off your guy, it gives you a chance to really get your momentum going as you go inside.
Right. His
inside rush, to me, is his strength. That's where he really shows what he can do. He comes with the rip. They always got him in the face, in the side of the helmet. But he's always ready to lean in on that stunt. Now this, I wouldn't call it a stunt. I guess you could call it a stunt. Yeah. But if someone's going to shield off his man, and that gives him a chance to have momentum going in to I guess, the guard, then
going around him.
Well, yeah,
because there's no one there.
Well, he could shake him down. He could break him down like a basketball move. He could do all of that. But when you have that much room in between you and that offender, it gives him a lot of chances to crease here, crease there, or even just bull rush a guy.
Well, a lot of what Cleveland was doing was they were running right at him.
So do you think that was because of the run? They were doing that. Green Bay was doing that because of the run, protecting.
Well, they were doing that in passing situations.
So they were catching them.
Okay.
So basically, what they were doing is catching them out of position when they were stunting, and that was leaving a big hole behind them.
But they ran at him.
Yeah.
And
were they successful?
And they neutralized him against the run. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 79. I didn't look up the tackle. I think it was their left tackle. I want to say. Against the run, he was no factor.
Right.
And there were times where they take him out of the game.
That Green Bay defense, of course, they played
but the rest of them
to win that game.
They got two sacks in the game. Both were Gary's, right? So you just got to keep them occupied by running the football well or efficiently. You don't have to run it a lot. Right. Just be efficient.
And we've been good at that.
And as long as they hold on to the ball at the end of the run.
And guys, we've talked about the opportunity that George Picklens has. And I think a lot of people were so high up on George Picklens when he first came over because when last season all you had was CeeDee and the maybes, hopefully a guy would come on. And so that next man up mentality that we're talking about, we're seeing that front and center. But there are other guys that are going to have to replace the production of George Picklens as a number 2 wide receiver. Who's going to be that amongst the Jalen Tolberts, the Flanois, and the Turpins?
Well, it's got to be by committee.
That's your only 3 choices.
It's got to be by committee. It has to be by committee. They have, I don't know which one I would rather have as the number 2, but I think Turpin is definitely someone that, if used properly, he could really take the top off of this thing. If they just, I would have to give him a try. I would at least give him 2 tries for a deep touchdown. To just run a straight 9 from the slot and let me see what you got.
Why didn't either one of you guys correct me and say Jake Ferguson? Why? I mean, it was a setup question. Jake Ferguson's name. Jake Ferguson, as far as the stats are concerned, as far as the numbers, he's number 1 amongst tight ends right now as far as receptions.
Yeah, but he had 13 catches last week.
For what, 50 yards?
More than
maybe
that. It
60.
was, yeah, more than that.
I was joking. Is it 60?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Just yeah.
Wait, and you're telling me?
Well, I'm asking. Now you have seemingly. You're going to need
82.
Yeah, 82. Come on, 82. He had 82, but none of you even said to even think that the slack could be made up by your tight end who had 13 catches in 80.
I just don't see them using him effectively. If they want to change how they use him, then that's fine. Are we still going to have to keep him in for protection and then leak out? Because if you do that, then of course he has no room to get downfield. And the pressure, this is how they play the Cowboys. When you're sitting down on routes and we're not trying to take that top off down the field, you're going to have not just pressure. That means the second level of your defense, they're not going to be back here. They're going to be right here supporting their front line. And that means that Ferguson will always have somebody looking right at him when he leaks out. And that's what happened in the Chicago game. There was somebody on him the entire time. He couldn't break tackles. That's not his. I mean, I wish he could break some tackles, but those guys, they get paid as well. Yeah. And there was no yak at all.
Well, he was the relief guy.
Of course.
Right? Just dumping.
But after protecting.
Right.
Which is, we needed that.
And here's the deal. For him to be as effective as we've seen him, like on that same pass, your outside guys have to occupy some defenders, right? And the guy in the slot's got to take another corner, so maybe he's on a linebacker, and the safety's got to hover over the top, right?
That's usually the way it is.
But if they think like we're thinking, okay, Pickens is the guy, well, what are they going to do?
Double him,
right? So the guy on the other side has got to produce. The guy on the other side has to attract some eyeballs, so the middle of the field opens up. Now, if they're in 2 tight ends, you're in 2 wide receivers, right? Well, can Tolbert, Flanois do something on the outside? Now, it would be neat if they had Mingo available, and he's at the soonest next week, right? He's got one more year.
Why do you say Mingo?
Because he's available.
No, I'm saying what have we seen?
He's big, and he's fast, and he's strong, and he's the guy that was going to be. I think he might have outplayed Tolbert in training camp.
Really?
I thought he had a good training camp.
Oh,
okay. And he was a target down the field, but again, he's not available.
But here's the other question.
Because Turpin on the outside, they'll just back up. But he can carve them in the middle if the linebackers are occupied.
Well, that's what they did on the crossing route
Right.
that he ran.
And
that
he
was strictly
runs
by
that
design.
all the time.
They knew that someone's going to be over the top looking at him, and he actually beat two guys coming across the middle of it.
So they're going to have to be creative to keep this passing game going. It's not going to be just, okay, throw it to George Picklens, because they're thinking they're going to throw it to George Picklens.
So Faith, here's my, I guess my question is do you view George Picklens, before George Picklens got here, did you view him as a number one wide receiver?
Yes, I did.
So,
and when he got here, I viewed him as a number one wide receiver.
Okay,
same here.
Away from the Dallas Cowboys, the rest of the NFL, most number one wide receivers in the league draw a double team, correct? So this shouldn't be, he's not in foreign territory, according to what we know about number one wide receivers. So how does your game plan change because he's now? It shouldn't. What I'm saying, implying is your game plan shouldn't change because now he's the number one wide receiver.
Well, I mean, it should change because now you have two. You had two number ones.
True.
Now you only have one number one.
Absolutely.
So now who do you double team? Now who do you double team? If CeeDee's, I'm not saying now, but before CeeDee got hurt, you had to pick your poison on which one you're going to double team.
Hey, think about it. There's only two teams in the NFL that have a 1A, 1B wide receiver, and I would say that's Detroit and Cincinnati.
I was going to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And so those that'll give you to make you think, okay, who's the double team going to go to?
Right.
All right. But in this case, I guess before CeeDee Lamb was hurt, it was a pick your poison kind of situation.
Right.
But now, even though that changes with the injury, the double team is going to go to George Picklens.
It is.
But still, George Picklens is in a situation with us where he has to prove his worth right now.
Well, you've got to scheme something to defeat the double team. Like the guy that's doubling, you got to do something to get his attention.
You got rub routes, bunch routes, all of that. There's ways to do it if that's what you want to do. I never see the Cowboys doing that. I have never seen them try to create space with combination routes
and like run into the guy that's supposed to be doubling.
I've never seen the Cowboys.
And let me give you an example. So in that 1992 NFC title game against San Francisco decided they were going to double Michael Irvin and single Alvin Harper. Okay? Michael Irvin repeatedly beat the double. They changed at halftime. It was like, okay, we're not doubling him anymore. Deion, get over there and cover him.
Yeah.
Because Deion started off on Alvin Harper, right? And they said, okay, Deion, you got him. We're not doubles.
That was a tough deal for Deion that day.
And then Michael showed Deion what he could
That
do.
was a tough deal for Deion that day.
It wasn't
and
like,
it
okay.
for that pass interference call.
That's right.
They're
coming back and winning the game,
brother.
right?
Yeah, man.
Because when they started the game off, I'll never forget.
I've never seen Deion look so tired. I've never seen him look
They started the game off, first play, Deion's on Harper, line of scrimmage, and he basically slapped his knee, right? Like, I'm with you. You ain't getting off.
Right.
It's like, okay, fine, but your double's not working on Michael Irvin. So they put him over there, and Michael Irvin wore him out.
Man, we might want to call Mike and see if he has any eligibility. Because, I mean, the truth is, Mickey, how unfair to start an argument with Hall of Fame wide receiver Michael Irvin in a double team.
And using that as an example of how we can win this week. Yeah.
Mickey,
I love going down that memory lane.
That was
talk about a barter.
There are ways.
Hey, George.
Ways.
Yeah, go to George in the locker room and say, George, I tell you, 92.
And he would say, I can do it.
Yeah, he sure would.
He should.
Right?
Yeah, he should.
I love his confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a young man that obviously, before he got here, was in flux with Pittsburgh, but needed to prove himself as a number one wide receiver. The numbers are there for sure, right? The touchdowns.
I think he's done extremely well.
Yeah,
I think he's done extremely well.
He's come in with a reputation, and I think, man, look, this game to me, and the next couple of games that CeeDee Lamb is out, if he's a guy that could carry the weight for you in that passing game, and guys like Jalen Tolbert and Turpin, because they have the more advantageous matchup. They have the third and fourth guy on them that they could absolutely take advantage of their matchup and be productive in the passing.
Yeah, they could, but they're third and fourth guys. I mean, so, what kind of confidence do they have in themselves? And that's what you look at. What I like about Pickens versus a double team, CeeDee's his expertise to me is getting open, and he loves to body catch, and I don't mean unnecessarily.
Yeah.
He puts himself in the position to where Dak can put that thing right there, and he can catch it like this or like that, and he's gone. Pickens, I think against a double team, he's more effective. First of all, his wingspan is stronger, and his catching ability is stronger.
Hands.
I think you could have two guys on him, and that's 50-50 ball.
We've seen it already.
Yeah,
right?
And he can out catch two guys going for the ball. He can do that, I think, on a consistent basis as long as he puts himself in position to do that. I don't want him to have to be covered like CeeDee was on that great pass and catch that he and Dak had. I don't want him to have to be covered back and forth. I want him to be in front of both guys because he can body them out with his size and with his wingspan.
So can you guys name the Packers corners?
I cannot.
I'm going to cheat because I have their too deep in front of me. But
I had to pick up the dope sheet.
Yeah,
tell me more.
Speaking of dope.
Yeah, right? Right?
Oh,
Yeah, just walked in here.
He couldn't wait any longer.
Right. He looks good, though. He looks good.
Bill will help me out with the pronunciation
There
of
you
one
go.
guy's first name. Keyshawn Nixon?
That's Keyshawn. It is
Keyshawn Nixon.
He's a two-time Pro Bowler.
All right. And Nate Hobbs.
That's the two corners.
Those are the two corners.
Which one is Keyshawn? What number is Keyshawn?
Oh.
Keyshawn Nixon is his full name.
25?
Yes, 25.
I lost that pick.
Yeah, he's number
All right.
25. Well, Bill is back, and we're going to take our break, and we're going to bring him up to speed on what's going on here on Mick Shots.
Look, school is starting, and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Celebrate Oktoberfest at Rally Day presented by SeatGeek on Saturday, September 27th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get ready to cheer on your Dallas Cowboys with tours of AT&T Stadium. Plus, enjoy festive games, German-inspired food, beer in a Cowboy Stein, and more. Visit AT&TStadium.com/rallydays for tickets and more information.
So what you got going on with Rally Days? Anything?
I did my Rally Day.
Okay.
I did.
You just get one a year?
Yeah, that's, man. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
He's going to the Packers Rally Day.
Yeah, I'm going to that tailgate.
Yeah, maybe there's money made over there, too.
No, there is. Chicken and pickle and grapevine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Packer Rally. Or
See, there goes Spags. He's undercover.
Oh,
undercover.
Yeah, I'm going.
He's undercover.
You growing up a Packer fan and all.
That's That's what we said.
You were Packer gear
Sometimes
over
you
there?
grow out of things.
No, this guy lived in Chicago, grew up in Chicago, and is a Packers fan. Do you know how much
It's hard
arguing?
to shake that.
Do you know how much arguing Mickey Spagnola has done in his life being a Packers fan?
The Packers won 5 championships.
But you
during my
lived in
child-
Chicago. It'd be a different thing if you were in
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
my Bear fans couldn't say a thing. They won 5
Man,
championships
This
while I was
explains a
there.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like being a Philly fan in Dallas. Yeah.
Okay, get me up to speed on what's transpired the first 40 minutes of this show.
Well, we got 2 schools of thought here. I was saying that, maybe the players are no good, and Everson is saying maybe the philosophy is no good. And
Wait, how'd you say it?
No.
And I said their eyes were no good.
And Mickey said their eyes were no good.
And which is what the coach said as well.
And he had that backed up. So
yeah.
Whose eyes?
The
defensive back's
secondary,
eyes,
Eberflus kept talking about eye discipline.
Okay, I'm here to bring you hope. Hope for a new tomorrow.
Keep hope
He's
alive.
going to go back to 1970.
No,
Let's
no. I watched coaches' film, the all 22 of the Packers offense. And we talk a lot about the injury issues that the Cowboys have on the offensive line, of course, with CeeDee. But if you look at what the Packers are dealing with right now, you can make a great case that they have more issues on their offensive line with injuries than what the Cowboys do right now.
Tell me
All
more.
you got to do is go look at that Cleveland game. And Cleveland's got a really good defense.
Yes.
Okay. And so I had just chalked it up to, well, Cleveland's got a really good defense until I went and watched the film. And I saw that Zach Tom, the right tackle for the Packers, you know how many plays he played in that game? He did start the game. And on the first play of the game, he was lined up against Myles Garrett, who bull rushed him. And he came out of the game after one play. He got
Never to
one
return.
play of Myles Garrett, and it never to return. And he did not practice yesterday, right?
No practice.
He got the injury report
Oblique.
right there. He's got an oblique injury, and he had already was dealing with something. He had missed the previous game, and so it took one play, one bull rush from Myles Garrett, and that oblique injury that he had that kept him out of the Washington
really
game.
bull rush this fool.
It sent him out of the Cleveland game too.
It was like the old DeMarcus Ware fever.
Yeah.
So they replaced Zach Tom with Jordan Morgan, number 77, who was their first-round draft pick last year out of Arizona. Okay. Now, he did not get on the field much last year, 186 snaps for the Packers, even despite the fact he was their first-round draft pick, taken just prior to when Tyler Guyton was taken. He was the 25th overall pick. Jordan Morgan was. Okay, and 6 games, 1 start. So he gets thrown into the mix. And you could tell right off the bat, it didn't take long, Cleveland took advantage of him at right tackle.
Yeah.
Okay? So then, it was 30 snaps into the game, the Packers lose their left guard, Aaron Banks, who they signed as a free agent from San Francisco, gave him 4 years, $77 million. They lose him to a groin injury. So now Jordan Morgan, 77, moves to left guard, and here comes their second-round pick this year out of North Carolina State, Anthony Belton, into the game to play right tackle. And what was the injury? The practice report on Aaron Banks from yesterday? Did he
groin
injury?
Practice.
Did not practice. So that's something to keep an eye on for Sunday night. Left guard and right tackle. And when they moved Morgan to left guard, the Browns took advantage of that, and they took advantage of Belton at right tackle as well.
So that also contributed to the lack of output.
So when you look at why the Packers only scored 10 points in that game against Cleveland, it had a lot to do with Cleveland's defense, but it probably had just as much to do with the injury issues they have on their offensive line, which they may have this week too.
So we're going to go with the misery loves company.
Right.
That's going to be our game plan. Misery loves company.
The confidence level that the Cowboys could take advantage defensively.
And I'm sure they're being told that. I mean, we have a chance now. Having said that, you had an offensive line from the New York Giants
and Chicago Bears.
Yeah, but I thought the Giants was worse. because they're back up. They were in disarray, and yet they scored 40 points on us.
Packers only threw for a gross 183
How many
yards.
times did Love get sacked? Did he get sacked?
He got sacked 5 times.
Oh wow! Yeah.
He got sacked 5 times, and it was a product of the new guys on their offense.
Well, Myles Garrett got sent to Pro Bowl in this game, so.
Well, Babe Laufenberg actually tweeted out a picture some of the All-22 he was looking at. It was hilarious because the Packers had 3 guys blocking Garrett.
Oh, come on, man.
Yes. So that may have factored into it, too. There literally are 3 guys locked on Garrett on the left side of the backfield. Anyway,
They know when they were compromised,
and
not gonna let that happen.
And I just taped Brian Schottenheimer's show, and
he tell you anything?
Well, he expects the Packers to run the football, and that's probably without saying it. That's probably one of the reasons they need to settle things down on their offensive line, so they need to establish the run. Jacobs had 30 yards. Josh Jacobs had 30 yards on 16 carries.
Yeah, I
last
didn't
week.
think he was doing that well right
He did a lot out of the backfield in the pass pro. In the pass
5 catches for 44 yards last week. But so anyway, and the Cowboys will be running the football. You know, did you see the Cowboys are second in the league in yards per carry?
Not surprised at all. I
Averaging
love the way we're running the
5.7
ball.
yards a carry.
I love
Yes.
And
we should have started off running the ball in the second half.
Well, they did. They started off running the ball in the
one
second.
play.
No, it was 5 or 6 plays.
Okay.
They got to midfield, and then it was a 2nd and 5 at the 45, the plus 45, and they dropped back to pass. And here comes somebody around the Guyton on the left side, and they were also rushing up the middle. 10-yard loss.
Oh, that was
it wasn't just a sack. It was a 10-yard sack.
Yeah.
And now you're throwing it on 3rd and 15, and I still say that was the biggest play of the game.
Yeah.
And then you completely abandon the run after.
Well, because you had a 19-play drive that made it a 17-point lead that you gave up, and it was literally the 4th quarter now, and you had to throw it. You had to go tempo and throw it at that point. So,
because they started going no huddle too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I remember correctly.
That's right. Yeah, because it now becomes you're not going to have enough possessions unless you do this thing fast. So.
And I think it's a philosophy thing. I mean, you watch enough football, you see guys, even when they're behind, still running the ball and keeping teams honest. I mean, you talk about the average of carry. That's something that benefits the Cowboys greatly, and it keeps that defensive end off of Guyton. In this game right here, even if you get behind, you're going to have to continue to run the ball.
And that's what Schottenheimer was doing in last week's game. Mm-hmm. And then one play, you get sacked. You try to throw downfield one time, you get sacked, and now you're 3rd and 15. And now what are you going to? You're going to run it on 3rd and 15? No.
And they did not get the ball back until 9 seconds.
9 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
3rd quarter.
Right.
That was the drive.
That's where it's complementary football.
Well, I guess we did mention that they got the ball to start the 3rd quarter, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But that's what he talked about. They had the sack, and that ended that drive. Because they started the 3rd quarter with Williams with a 9-yard run.
That was his last carry of the game.
Threw an out to Williams, 1st down.
Sanders then was in.
Sanders came in 6. Sanders 5. And then they had a 1st down, and then Sanders 5, and they went deep.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got the ball back in the 4th quarter, it was no huddle.
All of that gives me hope for Sunday night.
Nobody said
I'm the eternal optimist. I have hope for Sunday night, and I can't wait to hear what my pick is going to be tomorrow.
I can't wait to hear it either. You're going out on a limb.
Well, I'm going to try and look up some former scores here.
Well, you look that up and you report back tomorrow with it.
Unfortunately for Bill, the Cowboys have lost 9 of the last 10 games to the Packers.
Damn. There's one game in 2016 where
Dak
Prescott led them to a victory on the road at Lambeau
and he
Field.
had to score 30 points to do it.
Yep.
Can it be done again?
Nothing has changed.
All right, that does it for Mix Shots for a Thursday, and it's Fight Song Friday tomorrow here on Mix Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. How about this,